Hey everybody, welcome to some more early morning barking. Let me start by saying please like and subscribe, etc., and all the socially things are scrolling past as well. Thank you for doing that, I very much appreciate it. I also want to say I'm aware that I'm covered in a light sheen of shininess and all of this. It's like 40,000 degrees outside, so this is as non-sweaty as it gets. I'm glad I shared that with you. Let's put this out on the internet and show it to strangers. Anyway, let's talk about a sense of entitlement. You entitled NPD people, you. And me, don't worry. You know what this is, right? We see this a lot, especially nowadays, and I get a feeling that it's getting worse. This has got to be the most common thing that I see out there. And I think that a lot of people have this without necessarily having NPD. Remember, there are 9 markers, and you have to have at least 5 of them to have NPD. That doesn't mean you can't be out there with a sense of entitlement that is every much as serious as the one had by everybody with NPD. You can just be out there being an absolute bastard to people. I'm probably going to swear on this episode, so I don't know. I don't think you care. So, this is the one that makes you really treat strangers badly. More so than any of the others, I think. It's the sense of entitlement. You're entitled to things, right? You're entitled for everything that you want, when you want it, in the way that you want it, right now. And if you get anything other than that, you're going to be a bit of a dick about it, right? I was raised with this theory that if something isn't going your way, or if you aren't getting what you want, then really all you have to do is kick up enough of a stink and you will get what you want. Okay? I have numerous memories from my childhood of being shown examples of this, and it continues into adulthood. Yay, families. And so this is what I did. I started being really horrible to people to get what I wanted. And it starts off small, and maybe you actually do get what you want once or twice, right? And that gives you the confidence to do it even more and become even nastier and even more horrible and even more entitled. And it snowballs. And before you know it, you're kicking off in a restaurant because your food didn't come the way that you wanted, and you end up destroying the evening, breaking down relationships, ending holidays, whatever. I've done some really fucking horrible things in my life to people who absolutely did not in any way deserve it. Nobody deserves it. Nobody has done anything that requires this level of treatment from us. And it's such a horrible way of being. It doesn't get you anything. I used to take pride in how big and scary I could be. How much could I scare the crap out of whoever I was dealing with to get what I want? And that was a point of pride. I was proud of that I could be Mr. Super frightening and horrible. And there was no scene too big I was afraid of making, right? I am stunned there aren't clips of me on YouTube. Right? If I lived in a more heavily populated area, there probably would be. And it's horrible. This is this sense of entitlement fits in with things like outrage, the rage that I get from BPD and that kind of thing. And it just snowballs and becomes this horrific rage of things that ends up with you like stopping people on the road to shout at them. Really embarrassing, just things that make me cringe and upset me to think about in ways I've behaved. And so what I decided to do is really simple. When you start to feel this agitation, it is a mini rage that comes out of this sense of entitlement. I'm not getting what I want. You're failing me. You should give me what I want. When that feeling comes along, it's a really, really simple thing to do. You have to be conscious of it, though. And I think we are, right? I think we know we're doing this because we're so fucking proud of it. What you do is the opposite. It's really that simple. Let me tell you how it happened for me. Because these things are, you can't make this happen as such. You can't engineer a situation where you're going to have this sense of entitlement and practice doing the other thing. So you just have to wait for a situation to arise and then do your opposite thing. So for me, it was I'd been to Asda and I bought a lottery ticket on the till on the way out. And when you do that, you don't get a proper lottery ticket like if you bought it at a lottery place. You get it printed on a piece of receipt paper, right? And on that particular day, the printer on that till had run out of paper. And as it was printing my numbers, messed up and ruined the printout. You couldn't see the numbers. You couldn't see the identifier code for the ticket or whatever. It was useless. I'd paid my money for this and it was a useless lottery ticket. And on top of that, well, hang on, let me get started. I'm getting ahead of myself. So I'm stood here in Asda with this useless lottery ticket. And there was a woman who was helping out at the self-service tills where I did this, and she came over and tried to help and couldn't do anything whatsoever because they clearly have startlingly little control over these things, especially when they're printing out lottery tickets. And she eventually went and got the store manager because this was a lottery ticket. This is actually a big deal. What if this was the winning ticket? What if I'm effectively holding in my hands like £8 million and because Asda's till ran out of receipt paper, this is worthless now? What if? It's a lottery, isn't it? You don't know. And so I'm stood there and I'd managed to really keep my cool up until this point. And then I'm informed the manager of the store is coming to see me. And this is an ideal time to absolutely lose my shit. I want my lottery ticket. Not only do I want my lottery ticket, I want the lottery ticket with those 6 randomly selected numbers on it. I don't pick numbers. I just get the lucky dip thing. I don't even know what 6 numbers are on this lottery ticket. Nobody does. But I want them. I'm entitled to them. I put my money in. This is the thing. I'm entitled to this. So the manager's coming. What am I going to do? I'm stood at the self-service checkout in an Asda. It's crowded. It's always crowded. It's a supermarket in the daytime. And I decided I'm going to do the opposite. Instead of being the nastiest, most scary, frightening person, I'm going to be the nicest, kindest, most considerate, caring person that is the least scary human being that ever lived. This woman is coming to meet Mr. Rogers. Right? That was my decision. This is going to go the other way. I am going to be nice today. And she came over and I was nice. I smiled. I was friendly. I said, I understand you haven't personally destroyed my lottery ticket, etc. We had an extremely amiable conversation. And it went remarkably well. In the end, there was nothing she could do. Right? And I know and believe this because through having the reasonable conversation that we had, we didn't just stand there by the self-service tills. She took me to another room in private so we could sit down and have a conversation. She got out her documentation for store managers on running the lottery in their store. And she sat with me and we went through it and she looked up the rules and regulations of what she was allowed to do in front of me. I was offered coffee. And it was because I was being nice. And she wasn't afraid to sit next to me. This was the days before a virus, wasn't it? She wasn't afraid to sit next to me and have a conversation. She wasn't worried about taking her time and actually looking at what she was supposed to do. There was no panic. There was no anger. There was no shouting. I wasn't on Look North as the guy who smashed up Asda Keithley. It was amazing. It was one of the single greatest, most significant experiences of my adult life. I was nice to somebody, and it got me so much further than I'd ever gotten being horrible and shouty and loud. It was so significant. And that's what you do. You just be nice. There's no clever trick to this. There's no secret. There's no what can I do. You just be nice to people. You know what that looks like. You've seen it on TV. Do that, right? Do the thing you've seen, being nice. You know what it looks like. You can do it. And see where it gets you. Now, I've not been perfect since. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, and now I'm cured, because that's bullshit. I still get that winding up feeling. But I tell you what, I've never shouted at anyone again. I've never gotten cross at somebody who's just trying to do their job. And it's 9 times out of 10 a shitty job that is overworked and underpaid. And these are people just trying to live their lives. They don't need you or me making it worse for them. And since making that change, it's been fairly definitive. Like I say, I'm not perfect yet. I still get wound up sometimes, but that's sort of a next step. I'm okay with that for now. I think that will go away the more I just don't get angry. And you can apply this to so much where you feel that being scary will benefit you. I know you do. Right? Don't bullshit me. I know you do, because I do it. This is why we're here. Admit it. And it feels good. You think you're big and powerful and intimidating and dominating, and it means you're a person who can get shit done. It doesn't. It means you're a total dick. You do not come away from these interactions looking good. Nobody thinks, wow, that person knows what they're doing. They really put me, a pleb such as I am, in my place. They just think you're a dick. And then they go home at the end of the day and they tell their significant other about, God, this dick came into the store today. You won't believe the sense of entitlement on some people. It just carries on. And you can just stop when you admit to yourself that this is not getting you anywhere, that this does not make you big and powerful and important and dominant and all these things you want to feel, right? Hurting someone else shouldn't make you feel better. That's fucked, right? You can agree with me on that one. So try making people feel good. Try that. It's actually really, really good. I can't tell you. Just try it. Okay, then. I'd love to hear from some of you. Let me know about your entitlement. What have you done? I bet you've done some horrible things. And just try. Do you know what? Let me know how this trying being nice goes. I promise this will work. Right? I promise this will work. You just be the nice person. Give it a go. What have you got to lose? Right. I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.